Well, I guess here we are again for another Pike and Shot game in my basement with Dennis, Matt Varnish Campbell. Once again, we're doing Royal Scots against the Scottish Covenanters. Why?
Why not?
Because that's what we have. For me, though, finally, I can now show my beautifully finished command bases. So here is. This is the Marquis of Montrose and his CIC base.
Yeah.
This would be a cavalry base. This is McManus, the Irish, and then this is Matt Kohler. So there's my three commander bases. Now McCullough has a bodyguard, so I haven't done them yet. It would just be a 350 by 50s with Highlanders on it to represent his bodyguard. But as a commander of a wing, I'm just using McCullough and wee Maggie McGee. So my organisation for today, we're doing 700 points. So for me, I have in my centre, I have one Irish pike and two Irish shot, one Scottish pike and two shot, one Scottish pike and two shot. And yes, I now have flags. This is the wrong flag. This will be the Newcastle, and once my new Newcastle flags come in, I'll change them out. I'm not sure who these guys are. Sorry, my English Civil War history is terrible. And then on my right, I have the Gordon Horse with the proper Gordon Horse flag, a unit of cavalry, and a unit of Irish commanded shot, and a galloper gun. I need a horse for the galloper gun. And then on my right, I have a unit of Scottish commanded shot. Scottish musketeers, not commanded shot. Blackadder's troop, small dragoons, and a medium gun.
Excellent. And the battle we are playing today.
Yeah, so Dennis said, let's do this. And I went, all right, so 3 objectives. So I just divided the road through here. So one objective here worth 2 points.
Yeah.
One objective in the centre with my new Celtic cross painted for my Hail Caesar Celts.
Yeah.
This will be 3 points. And then the baggage wagon down that end, that'll be 2 points.
Excellent. And we're moving in from the corners.
Yeah, so we've got to come in from the corners. Mm-hmm. So bring in your left, your right, and your centre from here, and then go whichever way you want to go.
And then
so we'll actually start off board.
Yeah. My army, I've got it. First of all, this is a new camera, so we'll see. I've got a tripod and backlighting and so on. But for this, since the armies are off board, we're just going to go through my cavalry flank is Mossers and Reavers, Lancers, and unit of Dragoons. Those are 12 together. And a light galloper gun with my cavalry commander here, leadership 7. My center is over here where I have I've got Mungo Campbell and his unit here. I've got Duncan Campbell, I think it's Duncan of Auchenbreck or something like that. This is my generic Pike and Shot unit. Pike and 2 Shot. I've got Highlanders again, and I have a light gun here, and then I have a infantry commander, so leadership 8. This is my CIC. I'll have to roll to see if I get a 1. Hopefully I get a 6, so he's leadership 9. And then on my other infantry flank, or battalion, I've got the Roach unit in red. I've got the C4th Battalion here. I've got a frame gun, so they're all light guns, my guns. I've got the Fraser's commanded shot, and here's their commander. So that is the armies. We will... Alright, so shockingly, all my stuff is on the board. The cavalry flank. Unfortunately, because these two forests here and here, it's kind of hemmed in a little bit. Initially, I wanted to take infantry to go this way, cavalry to go this way. The cavalry, the skirmishers are over here. If you recall, they came in from 16 inches deep. They moved only the one move, these guys actually. So 12 inches for these guys, 9 inches for the dragoons. This should be reversed. They only moved the one. Sorry. Doing some repositioning. And I have these cavalry in the back just because they can move further. And then my flanking infantry, which is the Roach and the Seaforth, they rolled a double 1 from here. So they were able to move the 3 moves to there. And the Seaforth and the Mackenzie, the Seaforth and the Campbells were able to move up as well. So yes, I've got a bit of a traffic jam here, but at least everything is on the board, and I haven't rolled a blunder yet. So now, Scott, if you will, I'll rotate. Go.
Okay, so for my first turn, so I rolled for my cavalry commander. He's only a leadership of 7. I managed to get 2 moves out of it. So my Blackadder Dragoons came up, and my Scottish Dragoons came up, followed by the Irish commanded Shotte and a medium gun in the limber position. So they've moved up that way. My centre, I was lucky. I got three moves. So my one of my Irish Pike and Shot units took the lead, flanked by a Scottish and the Strathbogie Regiment. Yes, I actually have the Strathbogie Regiment, actual Strathbogie flag.
Yeah.
I'm not sure. Like we talked about the Newcastle flags. I thought these were the Newcastle flags, but I've got to find out what these are.
I think there's probably different regiments of them.
Yeah, these were terrible. These are Little Big Man Studios, which are excellent, much better. And I've worked out the right way to be able to bend them and fold them.
They look like the Flag Dude ones.
Yeah, look like Flag Dude. Thanks, Rick. And the medium gun limbered. And then over here, I got 2 moves for my cavalry. So my Gordon horse leading, followed by regular cavalry, supported by, these are the Irish muskets. They're the Scottish, Irish commanded Shot. They're the Scottish muskets. Okay. Galloper gun and the commander.
And naturally, because we're coming in on opposite diagonals, and his medium guns are limbered and mine, some of them move more than 2, and anyways, they're long range.
Yeah.
So there's going to be no shooting, so this is going to wrap up.
Straight into turn 2.
Turn 1, yeah, straight in. We'll see how many blunders I can roll. Alright, well, my turn 2 was pretty anticlimactic, as you can see, as usual. The Roach and Seaforth. So when there's a success, I can blame the Roach, but when there's a failure, I can blame the Seaforth. So the Seaforth rolled 11. Yeah, they rolled an 11, and then my center, I was hoping to get 2 moves to move past them to deal with that cavalry that's over there, and of course they rolled a 10. So my cavalry commander, him being leadership 7, I certainly didn't trust him, so I used my CNC, leadership 9, and was able to move them up. And I wanted them to be no closer than here. And at the time, nothing was in range. And that was so I had nothing to shoot at. And then Scott, your moves.
Yeah, so there was a lot of movement. Thanks, Liz. So there was a lot of movement with this individual unit, so I left that to last. This was just 1 move, so I rolled just to have everyone advance, and I was fortunate. I wanted 3, I got 2, so I got to advance them twice, which moved the whole organisation. This one here, I was lucky. I got to move my cuirassiers all the way up to this objective.
Gordon horse.
My Gordon horse. My gun moved forward 1, and because it's a light gun, it can move and unlimber. And my cavalry moved twice, so they came up as well. and then I failed on these guys, but that's okay. This was the main push that I needed. And then over here, I sort of got a 90% success. So these dragoons moved into the wood here. These infantry moved up, the musketeers, Scots musketeers moved up to here. These dragoons, my Blackadder dragoons, failed to move into the wood, but I did manage to unlimber the gun.
With your CIC.
So I had.
And you needed 2, right? Because that was Montrose, and you needed 10.
Yeah, I needed 10, so I got the 10, and then I got the 2 moves off him as well to move these guys up. Because once I failed the dragoons, I had to use the CSC. So then after that, I was able to fire. So I fired my dragoons and my muskets into Dennis's cavalry there, and got a couple of wounds and disordered him.
Yeah.
These muskets fired into those skirmishers, did nothing. Then these guys fired at his little galloper gun, and managed to disorder him.
Yeah.
So that was good. That was
good for you. Yeah.
It was good for me.
And thus ends
Thus
turn 2.
Yes.
Alrighty, my turn 3. What happened? Well,
Chaos for me.
yeah. So my Roach and Seaforth battalions moved up. Did some shooting, and I think I did a wound somewhere. Nothing.
No, missed. I saved everything.
No, these guys here.
Oh, yeah.
Inflicted a wound on the Irish over there.
But nothing to the cav. You've missed.
Right. The Mungo Campbell, the Campbells, the 2 Campbell units. I declared that I was moving in this direction, forgetting that this damn thing is a woods. So these guys are stuck behind here. These guys wrapped around. The Highlanders managed to move up fairly good. And in both cases, they moved 3 moves. They're not limbered. I just did this so I know that because a light gun moves more than 2, they can't shoot. So I didn't shoot with them. So there we go. And then for the cavalry, I wanted to try... What? For the cavalry, we wanted to try just the hedgehog, because we played 2 games and we haven't done the hedgehog. So I declared a charge on my lancers, or my lances into the Irish musket that were here.
Yep.
He rolled a 10 for the leadership test to hedgehog up. Failed. So I was able to get in there. Yeah. My dragoons rolled 2 moves to get into here. Took traversing fire from the dismounted Blackadder dragoons. They didn't take a hit. Yeah. They shot back and, of course, missed. The last move for the cavalry is I did a initiative move back. 1 move with the Reavers.
Removed a wound with your CLC.
Removed a wound, yeah. And then in the combat, I scored 5 hits.
Yep. 2.
Yeah, and because of the lances, +1 against infantry, +2 against cavalry, but +1. I was able to cause just enough wounds. He rolled, was it double ones?
Double ones.
He rolled double ones to break.
Had he not had the plus for the lancers, it would have been even, but I lost by 1 because of the lancers, and that made me test, and I rolled a double 1, so they were gone.
So the musket were gone, and then...
They got a 7 to stand. The other supporting unit got a 6, so they had to come back a full turn.
Yeah. And they will... they're going to fall back, because I would love to countercharge or whatever it is, but this forest is in the way. Yeah. So that was my turn.
Yep. Now it's mine.
Yeah, so I think...
my turn 3.
Yeah, awesome. Let me just shut this on here.
Okay, welcome to the debacle. That was me. Okay, tried to swing these as a gate. Failed. So they didn't do anything else. Nothing else did anything. Yeah. I did unlimber this first before I tried that.
Yeah.
So I was trying to charge these Pike into his cavalry because they weren't skirmishers. Then we found out that charging Pike into cavalry just doesn't work because he gets to counter charge. Yeah. Because they're not Pike, they're just infantry, and just infantry charging into cavalry is just crap.
Well, no, but it's because... Here's the thing.
Well, so you counter-charge and it negates all my bonuses.
Right. If I was shaken or disordered, absolutely. But because they were not shaken, Yeah. So we went back in time and
Yeah.
yeah.
But I just think it's ridiculous that Pike can't savage cavalry. But anyway,
you can take it up with John Stallard.
I will. I'll next time I talk to John Stallard, I'll tell him. So anyway, so all I did is the Irish, what's left of the Irish, I just moved them up, and then I got these two Scottish musket guys up, and then this group just moved up behind in one go.
Yeah.
My original plan was to move them up there, and then turn these two to face these guys, so that they could just blast. But I ended up having to move them up. So they fired, and they fired at all of that, and did nothing.
Sweet.
No disorders, no casualties, complete poop.
But that wasn't the worst of all.
That's not even the start of the worst.
In fact, let me move this up.
Yeah, so I moved my galloper gun, my light gun up here. My cavalry, that used to be on the table, charged into his muskets, and again we tried the whole hedgehog thing. Dennis failed.
Yeah, I failed to hedgehog up.
Yep. So they just stood their ground. My cavalry hit there. These guys, because they were 6 inches, had a free move and then just turned to face that way.
Yeah.
So we roll dice. I get 6 hits against Dennis. He gets 2. I take 2 casualties because my dice suck. He saves 4. Yeah. So now it's 2-2, but he wins because he's got support, and I only had 1. Then I roll a 1 and a 2, so I roll a 3, and my guys are dead.
And then your support.
And then these guys
fell back on a 7 because it's cavalry and hand to hand.
So yes. So my tactics were sound. My dice were not.
Yeah.
So that.
We will note that this is the Roach Regiment.
Yes.
Scott's
and
ancestry.
I was really just taking care of the Roach.
So you got beaten by your own ancestors. So,
yeah. So my dice have been terrible this round.
Yeah.
So, all right.
So that is that for turn 3. We're going to probably break into the bourbon and so on and so forth for the lament. And, continue. You need a lot of bourbon.
I need to make his mark.
Yeah.
As a road to recovery.
So that's what we'll do and catch you on turn 4.
1 unit in green shirts and 1 unit in white shirts because that's just...
Yeah. So my turn 4, the Far Roach Battalion moved up and shot and inflicted a wound on the cavalry. My center, I was able to move one of the Seaforth muskets up, and then after that whole command, I tried to move one of the light guns up and failed it, so that battalion couldn't do anything. Over here, the Lancers, why not, charged into the Scottish musket. No hedgehog. He wanted to do closing fire. He inflicted a wound in closing fire. Then I wanted to move my skirmishers, botched that command roll so nothing else could move. And then stupidly, I used my CIC to move another light gun up. And then because of that, my entire rear brigade here, I meant to move them up, but because I'd used my CIC ahead of that, so I just got ahead of myself, so all this lot back here didn't move. But that's okay. With some shooting, I caused a disorder on the center pike, which meant that they couldn't, which was actually critical, because they couldn't support. And I think I disordered the other muskets as well.
No, they just bounced.
No. Oh, but I inflicted a wound, yeah. And then with the charge, closing fire, he did a wound. I did a bunch of wounds. Or no, it was close. I won by 1. And then once again, he rolled really bad. His Australia dice from last time, really failing him.
Adam Brooker, curse your sodden socks, dude.
There may or may not be some dice on the way here, so I don't know if they're going to be cursed or not. So yeah, I was able to see them off, but not before taking another wound. So I did follow up because I didn't want him to turn those muskets over here and cause them to be shaken. So realistically, it'll have to be the dragoons, the Blackadder, to cause another wound on them, or the cannon. But yeah, we'll see how that works. So that is my turn 4. Botched back here, but real good dice rolling once again for the Scottish Lancers. So, we shall see what Scott can pull off on his turn 4.
Another so-so turn. Not bad, not great. So the unit that was here that had to pull back, I just slid them across because they were within 6, so they used an initiative move to go across there. They end up firing at the skirmish cavalry, did nothing.
No, they did a wound, actually.
Oh, did they?
Yeah.
Awesome. Good God. Well done, guys. So this group, so I did that pivot move, brought them around to face the skirmishers that were in the wood.
Yeah.
However, stupidly, instead of just being able to fire all these at them,
And kill them.
I charged him with these guys, which meant they become open order. He evaded, but they went off. So these guys here fired at the skirmishers, did 1 wound.
Yeah.
These guys here fired at them, did 1 wound, and now he's shaken. These guys did nothing. The gun did nothing. In the center, this pike unit charged that infantry there.
Yep.
They couldn't do anything disordered. These guys here just pulled back next to the gun unlimbered. And that allowed me to fire both of these, and I ended up putting 5 casualties, but he
rolled a 3.
He rolled a 3.
Or no, I rolled like 11 or whatever it is.
Rolled 11 so that you didn't run away.
Yeah.
So my cavalry failed their charge.
Yeah.
So I had to use my CIC to move the Irish commanded musket forward. They fired, did a lot of damage, shaken, disordered. They point blank, did bugger all, did a casualty.
They did 2.
Or 2 casualties.
That's not bugger all.
Well, bugger all.
You didn't disorder them.
I wanted to disorder them, but so it was sort of good and bad.
Well, then in the combat, in the middle.
Oh yeah, and then in the combat, so I did more casualties, but he had more support, and in the end I lost by 1.
Yeah. No.
And once again, I rolled badly, but it just meant I had to fall back, so they fell back to here. It's not that I really wanted to smash them and make them run away, because then the other guys would all have to test that we're in support.
Right.
That was the plan. That was the cunning plan.
It was a cunning plan.
Yeah, I did disorder the little gun there too from shooting.
Oh yeah, that's right. Yeah.
So all right, there we go.
Yeah, so I'm surprised the Lancers are still alive. We'll see what I can do. All right, turn 5 coming up. Well, my turn 5. I declared a charge over here with the Roach Regiment, and the commanded shot disordered them, unfortunately. These lads fired into the gun, did 1 wound. My movement, oh my god, failing so many movements. I was able to, over here, reposition them on the off chance that, I don't know, something was going to come at them. I even tried to pull a wound off and failed that. Failed the move in here. The only thing that was successful was I got the Dragoons in here and shot at them and sort of missed. Yeah.
Yes, completely.
Yeah, it's just a bottleneck with this. Once again, these guys rolled on 11, so I couldn't move anything. This time I can only blame the Campbells, because this is the Campbell battalion. The Seaforth and the Mackenzies shot, shaken, disordered, so I'm good in that respect. And did I disorder them?
No.
No, I didn't.
No, you didn't even get into them.
No. Yeah. So at least that's that. But yeah, this really sucks. I was hoping that this was touching to claim that, but it isn't. And I was really hoping to move them up. But I couldn't. However, I did take 1 pot shot with Johnny Rifle Guy there and disordered the Pike, saving this gun from certain death. So at least there's that. Alright, so now Scott's turn 5.
Well, another mediocre turn by the Royal Scots. Let's start over this side. So I moved these 2 guys up, Dragoons into the wood. The Scots Musketeers, and the other Dragoons then moved over to here. Fired at the cavalry. I don't think they did anything. They fired at the cavalry, didn't do anything. They fired at the skirmishers, did nothing.
Well, no, I did pass my test.
All my shooting came from here.
Oh, right.
So then in the center, so I thought I considered about charging these guys in the flank, but I think we hadn't read the rules about the bonuses of pike against cavalry, blah, blah, blah.
Yeah.
He could have evaded, and I really didn't want him to evade and run away. So I decided not and just shoot cannon and musket at him. So, again, he's shaken, disordered. He passed his test, so he still stayed
Well,
there.
hang on. To reiterate, the bonus pike against cavalry is only when you receive the charge, not if you charge me.
No, I still...
Yes.
Pike against cavalry still get double dice.
No, only when you receive the charge. It was in the other case that you're thinking it's because it's cavalry charging non-pike infantry. Get the +2, which comes in later.
Okay, well,
yeah,
we still haven't worked that out. Anyway, so...
Yeah, I'm sure we're doing it wrong.
Yeah, I'm sure we are. As we keep going to the book and going, oh, look, we forgot to add that, we forgot to do this. Right, these guys were going to charge into these guys, come out at an angle and then sweep into there. They only got one move, so they couldn't even get outside the crap. So they fell back. He managed to take a wound off them, so they're no longer shaken. And then that was all that happened in the centre, because they had disordered, couldn't do poop. And then over here, I charged my Gordon horse into his pike, because they were disordered. We screwed it up, but at the end, he just fell back, took a few casualties, fell back. And then, because I won, I just did a sweep into the flank of these musket guys.
Yeah.
And the same. I beat him, not by much.
I made a lot of saves.
Yeah, not enough to make a difference that he couldn't save. So he rolled a 6, and again he just fell back. So shaken, disordered, shaken.
So
these guys are now shaken because they took casualties in the last round of combat.
Yeah. So I've got one turn to touch some objectives.
Yes.
Yeah.
All right.
So it should be nice and bloody.
Yeah.
All right. My turn 6. All right, so my turn 6 could have gone way better. I moved the skirmishing horse up to contest the wagon objective. My one gun is touching that objective, but on the far side there, everything was shaken into disorder, so I couldn't move anything, which sucked. So instead, I opted to shoot and try to break that last unit of cavalry. I did put them over, but he passed his test just now, so that's fine. Yeah. Over here, once again, the Campbells failed. I wanted to move up the commanded shot, move up and take some pot shots into the pike, but no, I rolled an 11. So once again, this battalion I think has moved just twice maybe. Over here, I started shooting with my guns into stuff, and then of course I rolled double 1s on my light gun, so I blew that up. At the end, my CNC, or my dragoons, shot did nothing. My horse shot and did nothing. And in the end, the CNC was able to rally off one of the wounds off of the Lancers. Just on the off chance they get checked. They'll have support there, but yeah, wasn't able to capture. So I've got 1 and 1 contested, but Scott has the last half of the turn, so I'm sure you'll be able to accomplish some stuff. So
yeah,
here we go.
So my last turn. Couple of things we're not sure about, and I'll cover those at the end. So basically, my skirmish cavalry, my dragoons here, charged his skirmish cavalry, and he was spread across here.
Yeah.
Because I charged, he formed up. He didn't want to withdraw and give me the objective, so he now formed up there. My small unit of dragoons here, my Blackadder ones, rolled successful, and they charged as well into the flank. He did traversing fire, missed, or hit, but I saved. So they managed to get in with no penalty. These guys moved up, shot into the back of them, did nada. These fired into them, did nada. So I tried to turn these and then charge, because if that charge was successful, I would have done the same here and the same there and charged all 3. That would have even been more confusing than it already was. But all they did was manage to turn around, and that blocked this, so they shot it extra and missed. So my Irish musket, I went to move 1 move forward to come up here and contest this, failed. So I just left that. That was nothing else. I came over here. These guys and these guys fired at his muskets that were here, shaken and disordered guys.
Yeah, they fell back.
they just fell back. They rolled a 6 and just fell back to shooting. Now these guys here, because they were there within 6 inches of those guys, under the book, so I'll cover those 2 issues now. The first one is this initiative move that's in the book.
Yeah.
So in the book it says, when you're within 6 inches, you can make an initiative move. And it just says, a normal move, blah, 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 but it's not specific. So for me, a normal move is these guys can just move back, and that's all I did.
Well,
now they are shaken.
No, but what's clutch is that, and you can't really see it from this angle here, is he moved him back to claim the objective.
Yeah, so I just moved him back so I'm touching the objective and claim the objective. So first thing is, is that a normal move under the initiative move? It doesn't. It's not specific, but to me it is. But because they're shaken, can they take an objective? And the book doesn't cover objectives and all that. So Martin and you guys playing at Seventh Son and all of that, if you have some in-house rules, it'd be handy.
Warlord Games is very good at being not very clear on a whole whack of stuff.
Yeah, and that's just one of those. So, whether shaken and disordered units are able to achieve objectives.
Yeah.
Now, back over here to the skirmish cavalry thing.
Yeah, because this was a cluster.
Yeah, so we weren't sure how to, because the book, again, the rule book, doesn't cover multiple hand-to-hand. So these dragoons charging this.
So the skirmishers charged my...
Yes. So these skirmishers charged them. He formed. These charged. This becomes his facing. This is how I understand it. This becomes his facing because cavalry choose the facing of the charge. These guys then charge and then charge in on the flank. So this is now flank, front.
Right.
So we rolled off this hand-to-hand combat. We both come out with 2 casualties each. We did this and then came out with 2 casualties each. So this unit has 2, this unit has 2, but he has 4 total.
Yeah,
so we resolved this first, and that was 2 and 2 cancels out. I have rear support. He has none, so he loses by 1. These dragoons are in his front, so there's no rear or flank support from them. So he lost by 1. He tested, rolled a 3 or 4, back, yeah. So therefore he broke and went. So that's how we played it, but we're not sure. And
the only thing I'm sure of is that this just doesn't feel right.
Yeah, so whether these are treated as separate combats, you fight this one first, then this one, or you combine it, so it's their dice plus their dice against those. But the thing is that flanking attack provides a different value to this guy. Mm-hmm. So if anyone can tell us the sequence of how that should be done,
yeah, that'd be good.
That would be awesome. And that was it. It was a pretty lackluster final turn. Well, it was.
I mean, you took two objectives and contested one all in one turn. That's not lackluster.
It is, because this we're not sure about and that we're not sure about, so it's still...
And my question was traversing fire, because he moved his dudes straight up in front. So I think this is the only one where I think we're pretty sure on.
Yeah. So I said, to me, traversing fire is when you move across the frontage.
Yeah.
You get shot at.
Because he came right in. Yeah, and if we had just one more turn, obviously I would have shot. But
yeah, so I advanced straight at him. That's not traversing fire, because when you read the book, it's you've got to move at least partially across the front, not at the front. Yeah. Otherwise, every time someone moves within 12 inches, you're shooting at them, which makes no sense. Especially two units approaching each other.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, no, that's true. And that's why I say this one, that feels the most, is just...
Yeah.
I don't know. To me, reversing as shaken on a free move to claim an objective, that just seems dodgy.
Yeah.
But I mean, they're dirty Montrose, so I mean...
So keep in mind,
that's very, very,
I wasn't disordered.
They're shaken.
I was only shaken.
Yeah.
So I could have rolled for the command to move back and just gone, I'm going to move back. But because of the 6-inch rule, we use the initiative, and I don't know if... it says a normal move, and I know do I have to turn... Do I have to turn and move back? So I should probably be facing the other way? I don't know.
Yeah.
But anyway, any advice or recommendations?
Yeah.
Such thoughts?
But anyways, there's our third game.
But yeah, that's our third game.
And it looked great because everybody had flags, everybody had bases, everything was good.
And I had commands now, so I've got,
Hey, no blunders.
No blunders.
Only one gun.
You had one cannon blow up.
Yeah. Brutal.
But no, really enjoying this. And now with fully painted armies and flags and...
Yeah.
Now I do still have some flags that are incorrect. So like this Irish, Scottish unit or whatever, the purple flag. I don't know who owns that, but I do have actual flags coming for my royalist army,
Right. Yeah.
and they'll be put in. But I just wanted flags on for this.
She landed on
God
that
damn
note
it.
there.